Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Flight Sim Deck. My name is Patrick, and here we are in Miami, Florida, and we're over by the American Airlines gates, floating above, checking it out, because we are going to be taking American Airlines Flight 2219er to Princess Juliana International Airport, TNCM, and it's going to be about a 2.5 hour flight to 3 hours, something like that. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun doing that. We're about to go over the route in a second. We're just taking a nice peek here at the tower and a plane taxiing out. So this is the plan zoomed out. We're gonna zoom in here, and I will show you the departure. We are going to be taking the Skips 1 departure. Miami no longer does this departure. It's now Skips 2, but my FMC only had Skips 1, so we're going to be doing that departure. Luckily, I was able to find a plate for it, because sometimes when they change those to a new one, the old ones kind of go away and you can't really find them. There's also a baseball game going on, but we're going to be heading out of here before that even starts, so we don't have to worry about that. The St. Louis Cardinals versus the Miami Marlins. So let's go on down the line here with what we're doing. Going over the ocean. And then we're going to hit this island over here, New Providence Island, and then out this way. I'm going to zoom out. This is a very safe flight if you have an engine failure, because there's a lot of airports along the way that you could possibly land at. And over here to the Grand Turk. Coming on down along the border of this island, which is right near the Luis Munoz Marlin International Airport. And then in the end, we are coming in with the Sluggo arrival down to the airport. One of the most infamous approaches in the world. And we'll be doing that in a couple of hours once we get over there. So let's zoom out and show you the better perspective of how we're doing this flight, how far it is. And there you go. It's pretty far out there. So we're going to start taxiing out there now. Normally I would do more shots around the airport and then taxiing out, but there's a storm encroaching on our flight plan. It might cross our plan, so I want to get out of here as soon as possible, so we don't run into any of that, because it doesn't look too good out that way. So we're going to follow this American Airlines flight out there. Yes, this is again KMIA by LatinVFR. They did a great job. The planes that they add to the gates, it's amazing. Not a lot of sceneries do that, so it's really cool that they do that, and the models look excellent. Still following the American guy. We had to wait for the traffic a couple of times, so sped that up a little bit. Gonna wait till he gets out of the way here and then we'll go. Gonna be taking off runway 8 right. There's another American over there that I think just landed off in the distance. Yeah, really great airport. You get a lot of arrivals coming in and planes taxiing out of the gates. They don't see that in every scenery. I really love the scenery. They did a great job. If you don't have KMIA, I really suggest getting it. One of the best sceneries out there on the market. Almost done taxiing. We're coming up on 8 right. And I wanted to show you guys this clip. This doesn't happen too often, but got to see a plane arrive. This American is coming in. Yeah, I don't get to see that too often at these airports. It's KMIA thing. They got the traffic coming in. Alright, so we are ready to take off. All the lights are on and altimeter set, the clock is going. Auto throttle is armed. We already went down the checklist. And now we're going to turn on to a right and depart with skips 1. Skipping along out of here. I don't know why the textures flicker like that sometimes. It's been happening at like every airport I use. Don't know if it's a Prepar 3.3 thing or what is causing that, but it never used to do that. Now it's kind of doing it at every airport. Not as bad here, but okay, toga switch is on. We are taking off. Climbing up real quick here. 90 knots, 100 knots. Our V2 is going to be 132 knots.
V1, rotate.
And we're rotating. Putting the gear up. Much easier this time. The last time the button wasn't quite working. And we're going to start the turn. First flap's going up. Just going to hand fly this until we get it straightened out. And then we're going to put the autopilot on. It might be a little turbulent coming out of here. Nothing too bad. The winds are kind of fighting with me. They're kind of forcing the plane to the right a little bit. Alright, we're going to put the rest of the flaps up. And we'll start the autopilot, the LNAV, VNAV. And this thing is under the MCP's control. Look at that. That is Active Sky 16 for you right there. Great effect. I'm using Rex 4 soft clouds and Active Sky 16 in this video. We just passed 10,000 feet, so we are, well, we didn't just pass it, we're about 3,000 above it, so we're going to get landing lights off as you just saw in the taxi and the runway turn off. Okay, here is a nice glare shield view. We are still heading up through the clouds to our cruise altitude. And I figured I'd show you while we're waiting. We got about 2 hours and 15 minutes left in this flight. So I want to show you the plan on the FMC. I'm gonna go through it one more time. And there you go. Now, originally I had planned this flight for flight level 350, but it's actually going to be a lot better at 310, so I just got the FMC configured for that, and that's going to be our new cruise altitude. I'm going to change the packs and just set the landing altitude for that. Already got the bar set up for landing, and also the course, just 96 degrees. Coming up here we have a little bit of a storm. We may or may not run into it, so if we have to deviate around it, we will do that, but we're going to keep an eye on it, because a lot of stuff is coming in here. It's pretty dark red, and we don't want to be in that. Haven't turned the seatbelt signs off yet, so we're just going to leave them on until we come out of this. Yeah, it seems to be going straight at us, not really moving east or west, just south. Well, we've gotten closer to it, and it's moved off to the side. I don't think we're going to run into it, so we don't have to go around it. We are on the same 128 heading. And now we're coming up on our next waypoint, one of the final ones. Sped up a lot of this flight because it was just a lot of clouds and ocean, not much to see or do. But right at the waypoint where we're going to turn, there seems to be a storm, so as long as it stays where it is, we shouldn't have to go around it. But it seems to be one of those days where the bad weather wants to be right where we're going to be. But that's okay. We've kind of seen everything on this flight. We saw a American Airlines landing while we were waiting for a departure, and then getting a lot of different weather with this flight, almost like it's wintertime. Okay, we're up at the waypoint, about to take the turn. Weather is not a problem. It's often the distance enough to where it's not going to bother us. So everything's going according to plan. I haven't had to deviate at all. I think the FMC wants us to reset the MCP altitude. I'm starting to see a little bit of land. So we've began the descent phase right now. We are going down to 8,000 feet, and then it'll be 7,600 feet as we enter the arrival. Alright, starting to see some of the islands as we're coming in here. We're getting closer. We're going to be passing 10,000 feet, so we're getting the landing lights on. Alright, we are at 7,600 feet, making our turn on to one of the last waypoints, one of the last three, and now we're going to go down to 2,600 feet. That'll be the pattern we will, or the altitude we will need to be at when we enter the pattern. Alright, we are right where we need to be, about to make the final turn onto the final. Getting slowed down here, we're starting to add the flaps. The gear is about to go down. We're just going to get to 15 degrees of flaps. Turn the VNAV off, and we are controlling the MCP manually now. Okay guys, we have made the turn, come out of the fog a little bit, and we are on the final. Got the autopilot off. And this is going to be the weather at Princess Juliana International Airport. We have 12 knot winds coming out of 70 and 130 degrees. So either way, they're going to be coming from behind us and at an angle. Depending which way they're coming from, it's going to be a little bit of a crosswind from behind. Not completely perpendicular, just an angle. So we'll see how that goes. Just trying to get onto the glide slope right now. We're a little above it, but that's okay. Especially when you're over water, you'd rather be above the glide slope than below it. And we're going to catch it here in a second. Our speed is pretty good. We're coming down at a good rate. Get down there, just got it, okay. We're still a little bit above, but we are almost on the slope. Right there, we just hit it. I'm gonna try to hold this.
500.
A little under it now. Speed is good. On the slope again. Bringing it on in. Love this approach. It's one of my favorites.
Minimums. 100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
We landed a little bit on the right gear, but we got the center line dead on. Got the reverse thrust out right now. Speed brakes. I got reverse thrust coming off. Still braking. And manual braking, we're going to get that off. Speed brakes retracted. Landing lights off. Leave those on. And we're going to make this turn up here. We're going to take a look at the replay. Didn't land on the right gear too hard. It wasn't that hard of a drop on it. It's just, I actually never done that before. So let's check this out. Oh, and this is from the replay, so you will not see the spoilers or the reverse thrust deploy. It just doesn't record it for some reason. Oh, not that bad. It's not that bad, actually. It's good. Those are right on the center line. Just a little bit on the right gear, though. I like this angle. Boom! On the ground. That's a fun landing. Alright, so we are at the end of the runway. We're turning around. Going to take the exit that is further up there and then into our gate. Well guys, I appreciate you watching this video. Been having a lot of fun doing these. The commentary has been a lot of fun to do for you guys. So yeah, got a lot more of these coming. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.